Hello friends. Today is the Shravana Bahulastami. We call it Janmashtami or Krishnastami, and this is the year 2021. Krishna is such a enigmatic figure, and when we think of Krishna, there is a lot of representation that we have already seen in the past about he being more than a life image, and then a Jagat Guru, a lover of the highest form, a warrior of the highest level, and so on. But what is the message for the contemporary life that we get from Sri Krishna's life? So I thought of making it a subject for this Krishnastami in a very brief way to the extent that I understand. For me, Krishna's life represents three things from three episodes that I see from his life. The very first one, when we look at, is that very interesting, a little funny incident where Balarama and then other friends of Krishna go and complain to Mother Yashoda that Krishna has been eating mud. Mother Yashoda goes and then kind of confronts the child and then asks him, "Did you eat mud?" And the child says, "No, these people are lying." And then the mother now squarely asks him, "Open your mouth, let me see what is there inside." Now, this is the way that any mother would obviously be concerned and then catch the child. And he opens the mouth, and then the Bhagavatam says that she could actually see the entire cosmos in the mouth. Now, this is the story that Bhagavatam gives. But what is the significance? Now, the mud, which Krishna tried to show it as the food, and the mother was very concerned because she wanted Krishna to differentiate between what is food and what is mud. Food is something that you eat, mud is something that you don't eat. But for someone who has identified himself with not just the body but with the entire cosmos, mud is but part of him. How does he tell someone? Would he give a pravachan, a discourse to his mother saying that this is how I feel? Instead, he has to demonstrate. So the story goes on to show that this is the way he demonstrates to the loving, caring, innocent mother. And then he shows everything in the sense he gives that he gives that psychological satiation. He gives that understanding to his mother that he is everything, and therefore the mud is as good as food for him. So this is the ability of that of Sri Krishna in terms of teaching someone of the highest level with simple demonstration. So that has been shown in his life. The next episode that comes up in my mind is when Draupadi was praying to him and crying out for the Lord. And it is said that the Lord, nobody could save Draupadi. Neither her husbands nor the so-called very powerful people like Bhishma, Drona, everyone who have been in that very court could not save her from this this kind of atrocity that is happening. And what happens? Krishna gives a great, shows a great miracle here. And he takes the form of the saris, in fact, and then he actually makes it unending. However, something very interesting is that how does this happen? Krishna, it seems, has asked himself a question. What has Draupadi done in the past in order to merit this unending chariots? And it is said that a little while ago, when Krishna, Draupadi and all were sitting, and then Krishna was trying to eat a sugar cane, very accidentally it cut through the fingers of Krishna. It was bleeding, and immediately Draupadi tore a part of her sari and then tied it up to Krishna. So this is the highest level of empathy that Draupadi could demonstrate in life towards another being. And then Krishna was waiting, trying to search in Draupadi's life, was there anything that was completely selfless? And then he actually made it Akshayam, which means that he multiplied it manifold and then he gave it back. That single piece of the cloth given by Draupadi to Krishna, he multiplied it manifold and gave it back to Draupadi. So what does this show? It shows that the law of nature is always the same. There is a law of equality, which we call dharma, wherein depending on what you give, you get what you get. In days where there is less focus on contribution but more focus on consumption, the question has to come, what did we do in order to deserve what we have to get? And sometimes we are also shaken by the happenings of the world. Like right now, it is happening in some parts of the world where people are brutally treated. Then we ask the question, do they merit this? We do not know. We cannot really know about a large scale. But the individuals who have actually been focusing on contribution to the society, I'm very, very sure that they do experience the same thing that Draupadi experiences. That is, a Lord answers their call when they have to get back something. This is another message that I get from Krishna's life. The third one and the last one is the Gita, of course. It is known that Krishna is a Jagat Guru through the Gita. But what happened? Here was the Arjuna who was disillusioned, who did not want to do his duty because he came into a kind of confusion on what to do, who to attack. So this was the typical situation which we are faced in our lives many times. And then what does Krishna do? He goes on to show the summary message. If you look at, he goes on to show Arjuna that you actually are invincible and then highly capable as the self that you are. But you tend to identify yourself as something lesser and lesser, and often mistake, fall back or fall down in terms of your contribution to the extent of even relegation of the duty. So, the message coming to all of us through the Gita is that just remind yourself from time to time through positive sources, which are the great wisdom literature or mentors in our life. Go back and then get your self belief reascertained and then re-establish and then move on in life. Because we all have low points in life. We all have those moments where we need certain help from outside. And look at the positive wisdom literature. There's enough in this world, and particularly in this culture. And also there are mentors who have been living a very good life, and which we can agree upon. They are more stable than us. So it is good for us to go to them, learn from them, and then re-establish ourselves in life. This is very much part of the interdependent reality. So therefore, these are the three important traits that I see from Krishna's life. The first one being that there is a way that we can look at the life as the entirety, and then in that case, there is not much difference between the food and the mud. So which shows a kind of equality if we can develop that kind of a vision. And the second thing is that when we need the help, we can be sure that whatever you have been, if your effort focus has been contribution, you'll always get back and you'll get to consume. And the third one is that when there's a dereliction of duty and then we are confused in our life, looking towards wisdom that gets us back the self-belief that we need is what is required in life. So these are the three cornerstones I feel that Krishna's life teaches us. And then this is the day when we have to remember these things. And when we remember and then implement, I think we are paying the right homage to Lord Sri Krishna. Thanks for hearing out.